What is up, guys? In today's video, we are checking out the Nanoscout by EMAX. In this review, I'm going to talk about what I think about is good about this drone, what I think is absolutely terrible, and kind of just talk about what I think overall after my week of flying it. But without further ado, let's get into this video and let's rip some batteries. So this is a 65mm tiny whoop. It is analog, and it does have Express LRS. So I did receive this free from EMAX to do a review on. They will have no say in what I say in this video. All my thoughts and ideas for this video are my own. For this video, I thought it'd be fun to kind of get a couple narrated rips in this little space that we're in. We're on this little porch area. It is actually raining outside, so I can't get it outside and fly it. But over the past week, I have been flying this thing exclusively, kind of putting it through its paces, flying indoors and outdoors. And I really do enjoy flying it. I think it's a fun little ripper. I will be flying it on these batteries by EMAX. These are 320 milliamp 1S high voltage batteries. One thing to note about these batteries, specific to this drone, EMAX started, I'll get a B-roll clip of it if I can't get it to focus. But EMAX came out with these EM 2.0 connectors. So these are actually not compatible with BT 2.0 or any other kind of battery. So that being said, I've only had these two batteries, so I've flown as much as I can, and it does come with a little USB charger to charge these, which I've used, which we'll talk more about at the end of this video. You kind of give some thoughts about what I think about that. Okay, for these flights, obviously the Nanoscout, I'm using my Radio Boxer, DJI goggles V2 with a little SpeedyB analog adapter. All right, so like I was saying before, I've been flying this guy for about a week, pretty much almost every day. I think it flies really good. I'll share some clips later, but there was a day, but the first day I flew it, I tried to take it outside and I kind of forgot it was a 65mm tiny whoop. Basically, if you don't know what that means, it's basically like the smallest they kind of get as far as tiny whoops. That's about the smallest like they make them. It's pretty common. But I kind of forgot how much they get pushed around by the wind. So this day I tried to go out and fly it. It flew great. And I have no complaints about the VTX or like how it flies with the tune or anything, but I just got pushed around a lot. It made it really hard to fly. But then later that day I took it to my house and kind of flew it around inside, and this kind of the nature of how this thing flies and how it's tuned makes it great for, I think, for like an inside ripper, like if you're like in your house or whatever. It flies actually really well. I think this drone would be perfect for like a beginner, someone who's wanting to get into FPV. I think it's nice and tame. There's other tiny whoops I have and I've flown that feel totally different, even though they're the same size. They just fly more aggressive, and I think for a beginner, I think this is a good starting place. It's very durable, and I feel like it just flies good. I think it's just a good package, or it would be a good package in like for a beginner. I'm flying out on this porch area. Inside here is about to get remodeled, but I figured we'd take advantage of it and kind of fly around, hover around in it. Not much to like really zip around, but a little flippy flop. So you can do like very minimal freestyle with it. Alright, the battery's already almost dead. If you notice, when I took off, it wasn't really fully charged. But we shall talk about that very soon. I'm gonna go down and around one more time. Alright, coming in for a quick little swap out here. Alright, so we'll go up quick for battery 2 and rip around. All right, that battery is pretty much dead already anyway. All right, before we get into my final thoughts, let's check out this quick unboxing and we'll be right back. So just some final thoughts of the Nanoscout. Who do I think this drone would be good for? I think this is a good beginner tiny whoop. I think if you're, oops, about dropped it. I think if you're like a seasoned tiny whoop pilot, or you fly tiny whoops a lot, nothing here is gonna surprise you. We're looking at a Nano 3 run cam camera, pretty standard durable frame, like you can squish it and bend it and it's not gonna like go anywhere or anything's really gonna happen. In my experience flying it this week, I crashed it a lot. Never had an issue with any damage or anything, and I crashed it a lot. I crashed it pretty hard. As you saw in the unboxing, dry weight is about 23 grams. And then you throw in one of these batteries, you're looking about 32-ish grams. I did highlight before, so EMAX with this drone decided to come out with their own, if I can get the focus. Again, like I'll show that B-roll clip that you can kind of see what's actually going on. So they came out with their own like battery connector. I have to give them props for coming out with something new. Unfortunately, I think until it's widely recognized, this is kind of gonna be seen as kind of like something not very good, just because if you fly tiny whoops a lot, you probably have a lot of BT 2.0 connectors, a lot of G&B style connector, LiPo batteries for tiny whoops, and even the whatever the other one is, that PH 2.0 Phoenix guy. The drone does come with this little USB charger. that I did use to charge the batteries all the time. One downside I did find out, and I didn't realize this till later, when you're charging these batteries, these are high voltage batteries, so they should be charged up to 4.35, if I'm remembering correctly. I found with this charger, it would only go up to like 4.2-ish, which is kind of normal for like bigger batteries. But I also found it to be really inconsistent. So I don't know if that's the charger or if it's the batteries. But a lot of times, like this first flight I took today, you probably noticed that my battery started off really low, and those just came right off the charger. So I do have a bigger charger I use for my other LiPo, like 1S batteries, and I couldn't check it because I don't have an adapter. At least I couldn't find one online that does this adapter to anything else. But yeah, overall, this is great. Flies great. It feels kind of slow on the sticks, if that makes sense. Kind of lazy. Like I feel like I have to be on the throttle with it. Not because I think it's heavy, or if I don't know if it's the rates or the tune. I didn't really mess with anything. I tried to really approach it as if I was a beginner trying to get into the hobby. And like I said when I was flying, I think this would be a great start for someone who's trying to get into the hobby. This is sold as a kit too, where you get the drone, you would get goggles, not these, but something that would be adequate for the kit, and then a transmitter as well. I think that would be a sick place to start for a hobby. I wish I kind of gone that route. I still believe wholeheartedly that you should build your own drone at some point, because at the end of the day, you're gonna wreck and you're gonna need to know how to fix it. But ultimately for this, I think this is great. This is a great start for a beginner. As far as the VTX, I think the VTX is great for this. It goes up to 400 milliwatts, so you do get a good amount of punch and kind of penetration when you're flying through and around walls and stuff. Like even today when I was flying, I was going into the other end, which is a stucco studded wall. And I still was getting good video reception. Oh, I should add, so with the batteries, back on the EM 2.0 thing, so EMAX did include some extra little battery connectors that you could solder up. You could solder up your own LiPos, like if you wanted to change them over to EM 2.0. The cool thing about it is it is open source, so other companies will be able to adapt that adapter if they want to. But until that meantime, I think it's just going to be kind of a drawback to flying the Nanoscout unless you were to change out the little charge lead or the battery lead. I think ultimately for me long term, I think what I see myself is replacing this with a BT 2.0 connector guide, because I have a bunch of those. And honestly, I enjoy those way more. Well guys, that does it for us today. If you want to check out the Nanoscout, I'll make sure to have a link down below. And I'll link a kit that I talked about, which I believe will be a great start for a beginner to start with. But as we continue to grow this channel, I know this channel is small. And if you're a small YouTube creator just like me who enjoy either RC, FPV, or even consumer tech, make sure to comment down below. I'd love to connect with you guys in the comments. Maybe I'll even pin a comment for you guys to kind of engage with. But until then, guys, remember to show love, rip on, peace out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.